YUNKJunk!
Hey everybody, welcome to Tubby Talk. It's Terry and Steve. We are sans Chris because he's in Sweden, but we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat 1. Here we go.
Chris doesn't care about Mortal Kombat anyway, so.
Well, you know what? That's funny. I thought I remembered that, and that's why I pitched it. Because he's more a Street Fighter guy than a Mortal Kombat guy, right?
Yeah.
So Mortal Kombat 1 is coming out, or is already out. I think it's coming out
Yeah,
still.
it's coming out. It's not quite yet.
Okay. But I'm excited for this. This is a unique way to kind of do this, and essentially we're resetting the Mortal Kombat universe under the god that is Liu Kang.
Which is where he should have been the entire time, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, those bicycle kicks, I mean, he kind of was.
Flying, shooting fireballs.
Yep.
Making dragons, forming out dragons out of fire and eating people with them. That seems pretty godlike to me.
Yeah, I mean, so how does Mortal Kombat 1 strike you?
So first of all, I love the concept of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It being an in-universe reboot.
Yeah.
Of everything that's happened before and kind of streamlined.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I missed like Mortal Kombat's like 5 through 10.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Most of us did.
Yeah. Most people skip those. The ones with like Quan Chi and like the other weird characters. That's like, there's another Outworld. I don't get what this is.
Yeah.
And now it kind of like boils it down to like, some of those characters are in this game, but it boils it down really to just like, okay, what are the classic tenets of Mortal Kombat? How many fatalities can you spaghettify people in?
Yeah.
Which I think there's 2 now, because there's one in this game where the character makes a black hole. I think Liu Kang makes a black hole. And there was Sector in Mortal Kombat Ultimate.
What did Sector do?
I think it was Sector or the other cyborg. They made like a mini black hole, if I remember correctly.
As a
fatality.
It was probably Sector, because Sector seems to be something interesting in this game. Whoop, you okay? Yeah. We'll cut that out. Sector seems to be like something interesting in this game, in that I don't think he's a main fighter. He's like a cameo fighter. Or at least he was announced late or something like that. Yeah. So I bet he does have some sort of power or something like that. But in this game, Liu Kang is essentially. Did you play the last one?
The last one, no.
Okay, so the last one was
that like
great.
12 or 13?
I think 11.
11, okay.
Right? I think it was Mortal Kombat 11, and then this is Mortal Kombat 1. So in 11, it's got a great story and ending where like everything kind of makes sense. But Liu Kang ends up challenging like the goddess of time or whatever.
Like Chronica or something like that? Yeah.
Chronica, and then ends up becoming this almighty god. Like he gets, because Raiden's a god. Yeah. Raiden gives up his godhood. Liu Kang becomes the new god, and he is the god of like fire and wind.
Lightning. Oh, the wind.
Fire and what?
Fire and lightning? Lightning, so I thought
maybe it is both.
Or maybe it's fire and wind, and those combine to make lightning.
Very possible. But I know he commands this new thing, and what he did in this is he reformed the world as if Mortal Kombat had never happened.
Oh, okay.
But in this perfect universe, why is Mortal Kombat still going to happen? Is my question. Like, don't we want to avoid Mortal Kombat?
I mean, maybe we want to avoid it as being like an invasion, because the first story was, Outland was invading, or warriors from Outland were invading Earth.
Yeah.
Like Shang Tsung and his ilk. And then the second one definitely is Shao Kahn invading Earth from Outland. So that was kind of like the beginning of at the beginnings of the lore, it was all about invading and all about conquering.
That's also how the original Mortal Kombat movie ends, I believe, is Shao Kahn saying, I'm coming to kill you, or something like that.
And then the second movie opens with a complete non sequitur.
Right.
And they all shoot off to different parts of the world where it's cheaper to film.
Yeah. Annihilation. God, that was an incredible movie.
I tried to watch the second one recently, and I had to stop right after that scene, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't remember this, and this is worse than I remember. But yeah, so I'm assuming that the impetus of this tournament is to actually have a tournament of the best fighters. See who's the best, who can, like, I think he brings like the original Kung Lao from the past or something.
Yeah.
Like forward. So maybe he's just like, hey, everybody's gonna fight my champion Kung Lao. And see how you do against him.
Well, actually, I think we have the gameplay trailer right here. Dylan, if you'd be so kind as to play that for us.
Because I hadn't kept up with the last couple of games, so it threw me for a loop, and I was like, oh, wait, Kung Lao was like a title or something that like the hat passes down.
Well, I think it is a title. I think there's many Kung Laos. Okay, perfect. So we're watching this in real time. Oh, can I have the volume? Thank you.
Yeah, like that Kung Lao has a hoodie and a non-sharp hat on. Okay.
Look at how, I mean, the amazing thing about it, you can turn it down a little bit. Cool, thank you. I mean, it is amazing how far this game has come. So this game started with actual humans being filmed. And like those shots were then put into a side scroller type of fight. And now we're at a point where like this is hyper realistic graphics, really.
Wait, I thought the guy wasn't supposed to be in the game.
Who's that?
Oh, maybe I'm confusing with somebody else. Okay, no, it looked like that guy was styled after Cole from the Mortal Kombat movie that came out recently.
I think that
like,
I think
it looks
he
like
is
that's the
in.
actor doing the mocap or something. But they said Cole wasn't a character in this movie, unless they were on this game, unless they were lying.
Well, I mean, okay. Mortal Kombat is so much more than just a game. Like, we're doing this because of Mortal Kombat 1, but Mortal Kombat really does transcend a lot of different mediums. You know, everyone knows about it because it was such a big deal in the 90s when it came out. You know, the movie was great. And then
Just the soundtrack of the movie was great.
But I just feel like the latest film was so bad, made me so angry because it's doing that classic thing of like, this is what we want. What we're seeing on screen is what we want. It's what we've always wanted. Just give us that. Don't give us, you know, the sort of, you know, don't give us something that's not from the actual lore, from the actual game itself.
Yeah, something that's not germane to at least the idea of the property.
Yeah.
Like Mortal Kombat's about a tournament. The movie that just recently came out, spoiler alert, was not about a tournament.
No.
It even set up a tournament for the next movie. And it opens with Sub-Zero and Scorpion, the beginning of their feud. And they barely are in it anymore. Scorpion's like a Deus Ex Machina, a Deus Ex Ninja, a Ninja Ex Machina, I guess, to help defeat Sub-Zero at the end.
Yeah.
When it's like, why was there was nothing about...
There was no reason.
There was nothing.
There's no reason for Sub-Zero to be in the main time period.
No, not at all. Except they needed somebody to be the villain. So they picked Sub-Zero because he's cool.
But they also treat Goro like he's a monster and hide him in a shed to like pop out as a pop-out monster. So, I mean, I have a long history of like hating any adaptation that's like, well, what if they were in the real world? It's my beef with the Sonic movies. You know, stay in Mobius. You know, don't come to the real world. I hate when anybody comes to the real world. But especially when we have something like Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 1, where the story, they're taken really seriously. They're building this on 20 plus years of story.
And it takes place in the real world.
Yeah.
So you can still tie it in. Like, you don't have to get the quote unquote, the normies, I guess, which is how the producer is still thinking of the moviegoer.
Which is amazing that we're still thinking of
after all
this.
the Marvel and DC and every other like nerd movie that's come out in the last 15 years, that they still think, oh, you need to ground it. You need to make it.
No.
You need to make it so the Grandmama Peoria can understand what's going on. When the Grandma Peoria either can get it from context or doesn't care.
Yeah, we were already sold on this, you know? We were already sold on, I want to see that, exactly. I want to see these throat rips. I want to see, you know, it's in our blood. Okay, it's just so perfect, and it bothers me. The cool thing about those, you know, Mortal Kombat 1 and all that kind of stuff is that now the character skins are from the movie. So that's one good thing that the movie did. Now, not the modern ones. They're taking it from the old ones. Yeah. But, yeah, boy, did I hate the Mortal Kombat movie. But I've always loved the game, and I've always loved the story. It is a deep story. Interestingly enough, when the Mortal Kombat movie came out, right before it, an animated movie came out that is perfect. It is
I've never seen
perfect.
that, so it's really good.
It's amazing. There's 3 of them now, and they're all in the same universe. I think there's another one that's coming out.
I'm assuming they're
but Johnny Cage is Johnny Cage.
Assuming they're produced by like what's his name, like Sam Register, I think, that does all the DC.
Yes, I don't know if I don't know if it is him, but it's definitely Warner
WB,
Brothers.
So I don't know
Actually,
why
we could probably Google it.
Yeah. I would hope that
Dylan, just Google who created Scorpion's Revenge, the animated movie. Now, there's a couple of them at this point. There's like Outworld's Finest, but it's got the gore, it's got the blood, it's got the spirit. Nothing is happening in the regular world. It's the story of the game.
Awesome.
And in this one, it's Mortal Kombat Legends, South Korean studio.
Okay. So it was the animation studio does like they did like Attack on Titan.
Let me see if I can get a producer credit if you go on the Wikipedia, please.
So it's animated by an anime studio, but yeah, was it produced by? It was not Same Register.
Bottom right.
I I saw the name quickly. It wasn't
Roll
the
that
name
right
I was
there.
looking for yet.
Rick Moranis, Jim Craig. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know if they worked on
but
the
it's
other
Warner
ones,
Brothers
yeah.
Animation. I mean, the crazy thing about that movie is it starts with Daffy Duck going crazy around like the Warner Brothers Tower, and then Scorpion reaches out and grabs him and goes, "Get over here." And immediately you're just like, what? But it is top down, like, that's Mortal Kombat.
I'll definitely, yeah, just looking at the synopsis, all the names I recognize, which I like to see.
Yes.
An adaptation, the names of the characters that I know and love, and not a random guy named Cole, which is the most generic name for a movie antagonist or protagonist since Deep Blue Sea.
Mm-hmm.
Where the actor's name was Cole, but I think the character's name was so Cole.
Nice. Well, that was just because he couldn't remember, because he was method acting, but also not that good.
He had to swim and read a script, just keep it simple.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy. Like Shinnok is in that movie. Just like they allude to him, and there's all this. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's a wonderful movie. You definitely need to see it, and then I want your feedback on it.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, no, I'm hoping if it doesn't tie into the game, at least like they kind of unify the lore a little bit with that of the animated movies.
Yeah,
there's no reason to divert them.
I wouldn't call it a companion piece. I would say like it's supplemental, but you don't. It's not necessary.
Yeah.
So, and which I love, because it's the same
we haven't
story.
Played the new game yet, so we don't know.
What's that?
We haven't played the new game yet. Actually, so
very true. We don't know. So the new game, this is interesting that we're getting the young Sub-Zero and young Scorpion. It looks like everybody else looks okay. Liu Kang is the god of fire. But I think he's fire and time or something when he beats
He's definitely in
Kronika.
time because that's what he uses to reset everything.
Yeah, here, let's kind of scroll through this slider here. Kitana, always great. Johnny Cage, looking skinny Johnny Cage.
He's going to have a called Van Damme skin, so they had to make the character model.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did hear that. Why is that? Was he supposed to play him originally?
Originally they wanted to ask him to play the original Johnny Cage mocap. And his people were just like, no, he's too busy.
Oh, the mocap? But why not put him in the movie?
He was already American Hero Guile.
That's true.
Have him also be.
That's true.
But yeah, in the original game, they wanted him to be. They wanted him to do the mocap for the Pit Fighter game too.
Yeah,
that was also based on Bloodsport and that character. And they also were like, no, he's not doing any video games. So now he's heard of it, obviously, since then. So yeah, I would love to be involved.
Well, what else is he doing?
I mean, probably Arnold told him last time the action stars got together for some beers. He was like, yeah, I did the last Mortal Kombat. You should do this one.
Yeah, that's right. So we got Kenshi, who that's Keanu Reeves at this point, right?
He looks a lot like Keanu Reeves with a blindfold on.
Kung Lao is a youthful warrior with dreams of glory. Melina, always legendary because of she had the easiest fatality in Mortal Kombat 2. Just hold low kick for 5 seconds.
That was when you just hold it even.
Yeah, you just hold it and then you let go. Rain and Smoke, that's awesome to see. And look at Raiden.
Wait, so he's champion of Earthrealm now. Yeah, it looks like him and Liu Kang swapped roles in the universe. Like now he's the champion of Earth.
But also, I don't know who this is because in Mortal Kombat 1, Liu Kang has reset everything, including the humans. So maybe he created this Raiden.
Maybe that Raiden is his offspring.
Yeah, Smoke is old in this one. That's interesting. Is Smoke? No, Noob Saibot is the original Sub-Zero, right?
Yeah, Noob Saibot was like the Easter egg character. Yeah, that was a palette swap, a blacked out palette swap of Sub-Zero.
No idea who Li Mei or Tanya are, but Baraka's looking good.
I think both of them are new.
Geras was in the last one. Yeah, there's a new take on Reptile that's very interesting. Have you seen that? So, Dylan, if you go on YouTube and look up Mortal Kombat 1 Reptile. Yeah, this is really interesting. And we don't need to hear it. We can just talk over it. Yeah, so they introduced Reptile as like an outcast of his own people because he can take human form. Like that's weird to the lizard people. So they threw him out. But Reptile's always been one of my favorites, especially Ninja Reptile. Because as you see, Ninja Reptile that's what he really looks like, right? But they're presenting it in a way that he's an outcast. Like I think the trailer here, they've been releasing a lot of trailers for this game.
Character trailers.
Less character trailers, but more like
really Well,
Well,
I'm
it's a
like
little bit of
character
both.
introduction. Like this seems a lot like an introduction to his backstory.
Yeah. But I think what it is this the trailer is called Outcasts. So there's a group of characters who are outcasts. There's another one called like Rulers. So like that one's
gotcha.
Sindel
Different classes
and
of-
Shao Kahn. And then there's like Warriors or something like that. Earthrealm. Yeah, that's the other one. So I think she is new. But these, these are badass scenes. I mean, I would watch a movie like that preferably to what I got in live action, right?
Like, I mean, just playing this game, it seems like it's produced very cinematically. So you're basically going to be watching it in between bouts, which to me is the best of both worlds. As we were talking about a couple episodes ago, I love it when lore and gameplay can seamlessly combine. Because if I have to go outside the game to appreciate the lore, it's not as good to me as if I can experience it in game.
Yeah, so I've there's this YouTuber, I can't remember his name, but he does these super long, like 3 to 4 hour lore pieces, and it's called like the insane lore of blank. So he did one on Street Fighter, and the first one I saw he did on Tekken. And I love those. I watch every single second of those. I love them so much. I think he's going to have a great time with Mortal Kombat because I think Mortal Kombat takes its lore most serious. Like it's decided what it is. It is kind of a horror trope, and it has built this giant story that it takes seriously. We might think it's corny, but
we shouldn't think it's corny because it's cool.
Yeah,
really cool. Supersedes taste in this type of situation.
You know what I was noticing?
You don't want to button down Mortal Kombat.
No, you don't. You never want that. But what I was noticing in that, give me that top left trailer. What I was noticing in that last one was like, that was the tree scene from Mortal Kombat 2. That just made me feel so good of like, that's just an update to what was there. So I think this is the Rulers one because I'm pretty sure, because Goro is a dragon king. I didn't know that. But he's like Prince of the Dragon people or something.
He was like a dragon king or something. And I was like, I guess that's supposed to translate with the forearms.
Who's that? Oh, is that Shao Kahn?
It must be. Yeah, that's his axe.
Oh! So let's talk about kind of the brutality of. No, that's not Shao Kahn. That's Motaro.
I forgot about Motaro.
That is Motaro. See, this is what I love about Mortal Kombat. It's like they're rewarding my playthroughs from Mortal Kombat 2. From Mortal Kombat 3, from Ultimate Mortal Kombat. And they're giving me kind of what I want. I mean, both of these characters were in that Ultimate, which I think was the best Mortal Kombat game for a long time.
I played them, especially in arcade. I played it for like months.
Because I believe that at every character.
So that's just Melina, right? She looked like Kelly Hu. I wonder if she's playing Sindel in this version, or if they just modeled the character after her, because it looks a lot like her.
That?
Yeah,
Who?
maybe
Kelly
not.
Hu?
No, not in that shot. She was Lady Deathstroke in X-Men 2.
Oh, very good. Who is that? Oh my God! No, who was in Mortal Kombat 3? Who was the sub boss? Goro?
Because
Kintaro
Kintaro was a tiger man.
Oh, Kintaro was a tiger man.
Yeah, I think that was 2. I think Motaro was.
No, I think it's the other way.
It's the other way around.
I think actually, you want to give it a Google, Dylan?
I'm almost certain it's Kintaro. 100% certain he's a tiger man.
Yeah.
But his name, I'm not 100% sure.
Let's go ahead and look up Motaro. Motaro. Motaro.
He definitely's got like a Dungeons & Dragons tiefling thing going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So that looks like. Well, wait, Motaro was a.
So Motaro is a centaur. Who the fuck were we just looking at?
Maybe he's not Centaur anymore. Maybe they don't want to model the extra legs.
Maybe not. Well, no, we saw him. There was someone with extra legs in that shot. Go back to that Mortal Kombat 1 thing. I know I'm asking you to Google a lot. Oh, actually, can you go back to the YouTube screen? We were watching that YouTube clip. Just scroll down. I want to see who we're talking about. Just scroll down and give me
in the description.
Open up the description there where it says more. Okay, that didn't help me at all. I think it's Shao Kahn. I mean, that's a Shao Kahn trailer.
I mean,
so maybe it's a primitive. Does Shao Kahn have horns?
He didn't have horns before, but maybe he has horns. I've played
this is a new universe.
Maybe he's like, we need him to look more classically evil, so we're going to give him devil horns to make his skin red.
Who the hell had horns? Well, here's the thing. I mean, Shao Kahn, I think, is half dragon. I think Shao Kahn's half something. Maybe he's half of whatever Baraka is. I don't know, man. Oh, that's definitely Shao Kahn. So they're just playing with him.
Giving horns. Yeah, because I was like, the axe moves, I was like, that definitely looked like the Shao Kahn I remembered.
Speaking of remember, this is kind of the meat of the episode that I want to talk about. Is like I wanted to talk about Mortal Kombat memories, and I wanted to talk about, what kind of Mortal Kombat meant to you when it came out. Certainly, you said you were an Ultimate Mortal Kombat guy.
Yeah, so Ultimate Mortal Kombat, when it came out on, was it PS1? Mm-hmm. There's also a version on N64, if I remember correctly. But it was like pared down a little bit.
And it was called Mortal Kombat Trilogy on N64.
It was Trilogy on N64. But it had, that trilogy also had all the characters, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, Ultimate Mortal Kombat, that was one of the games I played with my my childhood best friend. Mm-hmm. He had a PS1, and I would go over his house, and we'd just play Ultimate Mortal Kombat for hours. And this was after I played it in arcade for its whole arcade run. Mm-hmm. So I would destroy him with any character, and he got really upset about it. But at the same time, I was just like, I want to master this roster of 52 or so fighters because they're all interesting in their own way, and they all have interesting, play styles. Mm-hmm. Something I don't often do on Street Fighter. Like, I don't play as every character or try to learn every character because some character play, like the charge character play styles, I just don't like. Yeah. I just find that too boring. But in Mortal Kombat, lots of moves are charge moves. Mm-hmm. So you have to learn for every character, so it's not quite the same.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember Mortal Kombat wasn't all quarter circle. It was quarter circle. I think just Sub-Zero played a little like Ryu.
There were very few. Yeah, it was like Sub-Zero was the closest to like a Shotokan, but everybody else was like either button tap combos or like directional tap combos.
Just the memorization back in the day too of like.
I used to play it in arcade with the Electronic Gaming Monthly open to like the striker page. And I'm like,
really?
Okay, here's all the strikers' moves. I'm beating people with them, and there's time for the fatality. I'm flipping to the right page. Where's the fatality? Yeah, because I was
wait. So the thing comes up like finish him, and you're flipping through pages.
Well, I would already have it flipped, depending on the character I was playing. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's confident. That's confident. You just knew that you were going to kill him in the next 3 moves.
So I never got off book, to my chagrin, but at the same time, I was winning, and that was that. If you put up a quarter, or you win or you leave. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to keep playing. So I'm going to win by any means necessary.
Yeah. Well, that's always been that's. Since as long as we've been friends, I've always heard you were just a legend in the arcades.
No, only virtual on.
Okay, virtual on.
That one day, yeah. Everything else, I was middle of the road, but I had fun. That's all I could say. So, like your Mortal Kombat memories, like what's the game that you probably spent the most time with?
I want to say 2, probably 2, because I remember distinctly renting it a lot of times. That was a game that I was definitely not allowed to own, but I do remember renting it a bunch of times on Super Nintendo. Oh, that's interesting. My Mortal Kombat experiences were all on Nintendo, so I didn't see the blood.
Oh, wow.
Because was there blood in Mortal Kombat? There wasn't blood in Mortal Kombat 1 on SNES. There was on Genesis. Yeah. Was that the same for Mortal Kombat 2?
I think there was a mode. I thought there was a toggle for 2. It was like set to like quote unquote sweat.
Yeah, that's right.
By default, you could change it to blood.
I forgot about sweat.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Either that, because there was Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 or a version of Mortal Kombat 3 out for Super Nintendo.
Yeah, there was.
I remember that one had a lot of the characters stripped out.
Well,
if I remember correctly.
MK3 definitely was on Super Nintendo. And then, Ultimate MK3 was as well.
Because I think I remember playing that and everything was, the character models were very small.
Yeah.
Compared to PlayStation and arcade because, memory, RAM limitations. ROM limitations. But, I
mean, I got, mine was definitely Mortal Kombat 2.
It was kind of janky because I played that in a Game Boy version.
Mortal Kombat 2 on a Game Boy?
Of a Mortal Kombat game, yeah.
Oh, my God. I did Killer Instinct on Game Boy.
Oh, wow.
That was hard.
I remember that. They tried to make it look 2.5D.
Yeah, well, they did the same thing they did with Donkey Kong Land, which is underrated. Those Donkey Kong Land games were kind of amazing that they got those on a Game Boy. But, for MK, it was all on console or in the arcades. I definitely distinctly remember the MK Ultimate 3 arcade tower. Cabinet. And that was when it was kind of getting crazy. It was very clear that some of these characters were just glitches that they were turning into characters. For example, like, Ermac did not have a custom skin. Rain did not have a custom skin. Noob Saibot did not have a custom skin. Smoke didn't have a custom skin.
Because they were custom skins of Sub-Zero.
Yeah. But then when 3 came out, the robots came in and Smoke became a robot. And but you could still unlock classic Smoke. So it was like that classic arcade style feeling of a game where you could tell the developers were just having fun.
Yeah. They were throwing everything at the wall, see what stuck. And thankfully, everything stuck.
Yeah.
Because it just made it such a great gameplay experience.
Well, and one of the greatest things about Mortal Kombat to me is
Toasty.
Or Toasty. Yeah, he would say different things, though.
Oh, so he would say Toasty if you got, I think it was a certain type of, either combo or like a...
I thought it was an uppercut.
Well, yeah, it was a specific, it was like an uppercut either at the end of a certain length combo or an uppercut that was a counter.
Oh, really?
It was a specific timing.
But there was something
about...
a
Toasty, and then he did like a uh-oh or whoopsie, maybe is what the thing he said.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But I mean, that is just a weird American programmer thing, right?
Yeah.
That ain't happening coming out of Nintendo or Japan. You know,
I just wonder who that is. I'm assuming it's one of the, because it wasn't. I don't think it was Tobias or Boone, like the founders.
No, I don't think so either. It's just a dev. I'm sure. Maybe it's the sound guy. But why? Why? That's what I loved about Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of stuff in there that was like, why? And then they would reverse engineer it to have it make sense. Noob Saibot, how they figured out how to turn that into a story that you buy is amazing. So Noob Saibot is Tobias Boone backwards. So Ed Boone and what's Tobias' first name?
Not Scott Tobias. It's something Tobias. It was just on the screen too.
Dylan, what's his name?
It was on the Wikipedia page that you just had up. It was definitely Ed Boone. But yeah, so
Mortal Kombat creator.
Maybe one of them was the guy that said Toasty. I don't know. John Tobias.
John. Oh, actually, John.
It might have been.
It
John
does
Tobias.
look like John Tobias. Yeah. Can you Google this? John Tobias Toasty.
Definitely was Ed Boone. I didn't notice how much he looks like Lou Ferrigno in that picture.
What is up with the Toasty guy? The Toasty guy is Dan Forden, who created the music and sound effects. What?
He just added. I wonder if he just added himself in the game and they finally get like the final commit and they're like, oh, you put yourself in here? Yeah. Too late now.
But dude, that's what's so great about Mortal Kombat. It just feels American, as weird as that is to say.
Yeah,
it just
I don't know if you ever read like the postmortem about the creation of Mortal Kombat, the first game. Yeah, it was a very, very, very much like, oh, hey, Midway is going. It's just like Chicago-based company. We're going to do whatever we want.
Yeah,
we're going to do this weird follow up to this weird mocap game we did, a pixelization digitizing game we did, make it a head-to-head fighting game, and they just went all in and hired all these actors and like some ex-wrestlers and martial artists to do all the mocap.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like a very guerrilla, like underground. Like they didn't have like the blessing of, I forget who published it or whoever their superiors were, whoever was funding it. They didn't have the blessing to make the game they did.
Really?
They kind of like made it guerrilla style.
Stealth released it?
Yeah, like they kind of like they were like, this is what we want to do. And they're like, oh no, this is not going to sell. And we're like, we're going to make it. And then if it doesn't sell, then we owe you money. And then
really? They gambled on it?
Yeah, they gambled on it. They were just like, we want to digitize these actors. We don't want to do sprites. We want to get, actual like choreographers in. So it actually looks real.
Yeah.
And it worked like gangbusters. But it was not sanctioned by their higher-ups.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah, and then, of course, Mortal Kombat took off to be the powerhouse it is of a property.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the beginning, it was just like, oh, this is a cool story we have with these cool characters. They don't want to let us do it, but we're going to do it anyway.
See, what I love about that is they definitely had to take all that weird stuff and make it work as they got bigger and bigger because the games started getting, well, at this point, that looks like a serious as a heart attack video game.
Yeah.
With a story that was thought of. But yeah, it was really just, we need a guy who's like Bruce Lee in this that shoots fireballs. And we need an ice ninja. And we need a reptile. And we need a bunch of other things. I don't even know what Havoc is. Woo, that's crazy. He's missing half his face.
He in the gameplay trailer, he ripped his arm off and beat somebody with it and put it back on.
Okay.
Which I was like, okay, I guess that's what Havoc's thing is. He's just like that one.
Here, click that again.
The one DC character, his arms just come off. I forget his name.
Oh yeah, fall off arms guy.
Yeah,
it's the
this is something like
fall off arms kid or something.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion was him in Suicide Squad.
Yeah. No. Once he breaks social order,
rebellious anarchist.
I think he's just a guy.
Looks like Michael Jackson.
I think he's just supposed to be. Yeah, I mean, he's missing half his friggin' face, and they're not just gonna. Okay, they don't have to mention it. But again, that's what I love about the thing. That's weird, but look how well it's done.
Yeah, and it doesn't
It's
have to be
weird,
that well done. Because you'll still play as a character who can rip his arms off and beat somebody with them.
Yeah.
But just seeing that he's trying to free his people and he's a freedom fighter
And
adds
now,
another complex level.
well, and like they're not ignoring any of the fighting mechanics. The fighting mechanics in these games are incredible. They take these goofy characters and then have to make them work. And I like this because it's like they got better as they went on.
Yeah.
You know, they started taking this weird stuff seriously. I mean, my point on Noob Saibot is so that was a joke character that was in Mortal Kombat 2. He was definitely in 3, but I think he would show up as an error
I know
in
Reptile
2.
was a secret character in 2. Or was it 1?
Reptile was a secret character in 1.
It wasn't 1. Yeah, so Noob Saibot was 2.
So Noob Saibot was 2. And I know that he was just a color swap of Sub-Zero. And, he could do these cool moves, though, where he'd like disappear into shadow and come up. But they were just glitching the game. It looks like glitches in the game. Dylan, if on YouTube I can get original Noob Saibot footage, that would be awesome. Like Noob Saibot, Mortal Kombat 3. It's very, very clearly like a glitch that happened. And then they retconned him to be the original Sub-Zero who died.
Oh.
Because in Mortal Kombat 3, Sub-Zero's little brother, who looked white for some reason, like he looked like just a white guy with it was very strange. Keep going down. Noob Saibot, Mortal Kombat 2. Oh, there it is. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Noob Saibot at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, click that.
Oh, this is the Sega Saturn version?
You could skip forward a little bit.
95.
Keep going.
Saturn.
Give me some fighting scenes. Keep going forward. Keep going forward.
Was it Nighthawk?
Keep going forward.
Was that?
There we go. This is what I need. Okay, very clearly, this is a glitch. It looks like a glitch. It acts like a glitch. It's a glitch. And it's a joke character that they created where Jesus.
Yeah, that was his.
Yeah.
When he was a child, he was just a infinite combo. Well, not infinite. But yeah. Oh, that's right.
That's a brutality. I forgot about that.
Speaking of joke things in these games.
Yes. Oh, my God.
In fact, I think it was a joke in like Game Pro or EGM first of the friendship.
Yes.
And then they added it into the next version of the game.
Friendship was so cool.
The screen went dark and the music got dim. The screen went dim and the music went dark, I meant to say. And it looked like you were about to, fatality on your opponent. And suddenly you pull out a present. You pull out a birthday cake.
Or you turn yourself into a snowman, which is what
Sub-Zero
did. But it went further. I mean, look how shitty this looks. This is amazing because it's reminding me that this was a glitchy,
he just falls through the bottom of the screen and comes through the top of the screen.
It was a cobbled together game. There he goes again. Oh, what is it? Just a story of brutalities? It's awesome.
Maybe he didn't have a fatality. Maybe they didn't even program him.
Yeah. I mean, to finish up on that though, like now he is integral to the story and is like helps his little brother and whatnot. They figured out their way through it to make it a thing that makes sense in the story and in the lore. So this is a perfect follow-up to our lore conversation because the lore was created by accident by fans and in this case weird programmers.
Yeah.
This is like Doom type programmers.
20 years later.
Yeah.
They're still carrying it forward.
It's a miracle. Do me a favor, Dylan, just type in Babality because the other thing that this series did is this series took the idea of fatality. That was the original. That was the serious one. And they went insane on it where there were all sorts of Mortal Kombat moves, which you can see. Yeah.
Oh, they still did them in the
they're still doing them. And they just turn you into babies. So now you can do a babality, which all of this is really just using, putting in different button combinations. So one was a babality, one was an animality, was the ones that was introduced in Mortal Kombat 3. By the time you got to Trilogy, there were so many of like, is that Kratos?
Yeah.
That's awesome. There were so many of these that had gotten ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, recent Mortal Kombat started this thing of inviting guest characters, which I love.
Like the Terminator and John Rambo.
Yeah, I don't remember who the...
Yeah, there's
Kintaro.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the first...
guest character was.
Yeah, I guess it was probably in, what was it, Mortal Kombat 9? Mortal Kombat X, maybe?
I think it was X.
Dylan, just Google when Mortal Kombat... when guest characters were introduced in Mortal Kombat. Because now they're insane. In Mortal Kombat 1, have you seen who the guest characters are?
No, I don't know. Besides Liu Kang,
Okay. It's
Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't know.
All right, so in the Mortal Kombat, the reboot thing in 2011, you can hit that wiki so I can take a read.
Yeah, it began with Mortal Kombat 2000.
All right, Omni-Man, Peacemaker,
Yeah, no,
Homelander,
too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Spawn, the Joker, the Terminator.
Well, the Joker was from. Well, he was from 10. He was from Mortal Kombat.
The Alien Xenomorph, John Rambo. Oh, in the new one.
Was it? Yeah, I don't know if Joker's in the new. I think that's just a list of some of the guest characters. I know, like you said, Homelander, Omni-Man, and Peacemaker are in this one.
Yeah, as well as
Spawn was definitely in a previous one. Joker was definitely in a previous one. After
here, keep scrolling down.
After the DC,
I think right here.
Yeah,
I think Freddy Krueger
that
was one of the first ones. Freddy and Jason, they were definitely in. I don't know. You can go back. We don't need to click into
Mortal
it.
Kombat 2011. Yeah, as the first guest character.
Okay, and Freddy Krueger makes perfect sense. You go back, Dylan, and just scroll down. And scroll up. Right there should be fine. Okay, so let's look at these guest characters here. Because this is just programmers running wild.
Yeah, but some of them could still fit in the universe. Freddy Krueger, there's no reason Freddy Krueger couldn't.
No reason at all.
You couldn't fit in alongside Outland Saga on Earth. Spawn.
Everyone that's in makes sense to be in. The Joker's in because, Injustice came out as well.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the name, Injustice.
Yeah. Which is from
was
NetherRealm.
Joker first, or did they make Injustice after they added Joker as a?
I think they made it after. I think the Joker was like the teaser for Injustice. I could be wrong, but Rambo, like they're having RoboCop. They're having so much fun in here with all of these crazy characters. I did not know Leatherface was in it.
Yeah, I didn't know they did the Leatherface.
The Predator monster.
I knew the Predator and Xenomorph. Those came out like together.
Yeah.
I kept thinking they did Ninja Turtles, but that wasn't Mortal Kombat. That was Killer
Injustice.
Instinct.
Injustice had guest characters, including Hellboy and the Ninja Turtles, which is just amazing.
Oh, so Killer Instinct also had Ninja Turtles.
If
I remember correctly.
No, it had Battletoads.
It had Battletoads. Yeah. It had Battletoads because it was rare.
I think it was just Rash was in it, if I remember
he's like
correctly.
a character though, like in the game.
What do you mean?
Like they added Rash as a permanent character.
Yeah. Wait.
Well,
as a permanent guest character.
I think I heard that they're making a new edition, and Rash is also going to be in the new edition.
Oh, good.
I don't know if the other guest characters are, but Rash is going to be.
Man, you got to add Pimple and Zits. What are you doing?
Well, they can be palette swaps. It's fine.
So you know what? I think that the big story of Mortal Kombat, I'm glad we had this discussion because I think I like it because it was so ragtag, weird, and glitchy, Yeah. And it became something amazing, which is like, when I think of like literally my company, it was ragtag and glitchy and crazy, and then started to become something,
But you can
like
still
our set has changed drastically in these episodes.
But you can still keep that same character. You can keep the fun. You can keep the diagrams of this Super Nintendo controller.
Yeah,
because it's cool and it's quirky and it suits it suits your brand.
It's also like your brand. Your brand is video game based, but it's very high end. It's like you could take this stuff.
I started
seriously.
unabashedly silly though, and we don't have any plans of going too serious with it.
Either way,
we have to. And our latest job posting, I said our previous ice cream scooper was kidnapped by ninjas. Are you a bad enough scooper to replace the replace?
Did you see my comment? I was like,
oh yeah,
because
we had just talked about it too. So it was
like, you mean a righteous enough chap?
that was definitely a you're the man now, dog. It was not official. That would have been great if it was official translation.
But Mortal Kombat in itself is that. It's that kind of humor. It's that kind of feeling. It's like, let's be silly. Let's have fun.
It's playful, and you watch somebody's bones get turned to dust.
Well, isn't that funny? We had this whole conversation. We barely even talked about the blood and the gore because there's so much other stuff in Mortal Kombat to appreciate.
Yeah, that was always the stuff that was very it drew people, it drew parents' ire, drew kids awe to see, oh, you get to rip somebody's spine out of their neck, out of their head.
And it was, to be fair, it was also because it was recorded, video.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot more fun.
Visceral,
obviously they were holding pixels,
but
even still, it looked way more insane to us.
Well, that's what I always loved about it, especially if there was some. If I was like, because I had it at the corner store near me.
Yeah.
So if there was some like adults in there buying food and I'm just in there ripping somebody, turning somebody into a pillar of fire, of ash with a skull head with scorpion, and they're just like, oh my God, what is this? And I'm just in my head cackling. Like, look at these olds. And
They don't even
I'm
know who
the,
Scorpion is.
and now I'm the old watching Liu Kang spaghettify somebody with a black hole.
Yeah, but we're doing it like this. Like we're actually interested and want to see. It's
I'm
not
like,
gross or anything.
That seems scientifically accurate.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
He's putting him in a time warp type scenario and ripping the time from his body. Again, weird comic book cartoon logic applied to this. And now it's just amazing that it looks so good. If you can go back to the Mortal Kombat 1 game info page.
Okay, and you know what? Like I've always liked Mortal Kombat.
So good.
I wasn't even thinking about
you can kind of zoom out
buying
a
this
bit.
game because I have so many other games on my plate. Just having this conversation with you about it, I'm going to buy this game.
Well, I think
because
so
I have
too.
to play it now because I have to experience the story mode.
Scroll down. What are these cameo fighters?
So they're like the assistant, like Marvel vs. Capcom games, where they pop in and help you do a move or whatnot. So there's
Wait, are they not playable as main characters?
they're not playable with main characters.
You can't be Jax
off the bat.
or
No,
is that Jax?
that's.
Because that looks like Kenshi.
I was assuming that was Jax when I first saw him, and I was like, oh, it's pre-arm rip because Mortal Kombat didn't happen. But then I saw there was another character that was in like one of the mid series. So it was like 8 or 9 or something like that. That was kind of like a speedster version of.
Scroll down a little bit.
He was like a speedster, so I think he might be the speedster guy.
Oh, that's all we got.
I unfortunately don't remember his name because I didn't play the game.
No, that's okay. But it's funny. Yeah. Mortal Kombat's very, very smart because it did do a reset at a perfect time. No one was really playing Mortal Kombat during like the GameCube era, PS2 era, because Mortal Kombat 4 came out, which is they tried to go into 3D.
Yeah, and like
supposedly there are characters from 4 who have never been seen since that are going to be in this.
That's probably some of the ones I don't recognize at all. Then like. Because I'm like, I don't know who Havoc, I don't know who Tanya is, I don't know who this other person is.
I think Jarek was like the new cool guy in Mortal Kombat 4. That's also where Quan Chi came from.
Yeah, Quan Chi. Yeah, that's the only thing I know about Mortal Kombat 4 is he was in it.
You didn't play Sub-Zero Mythologies?
I actually didn't.
Oh, you're not missing much.
I didn't play with Sub-Zero Mythologies or Liu Kang Mythologies. I wanted to play both of them.
I didn't know there was a Liu Kang.
I think Liu Kang was the first one. It was on like Saturn.
Really?
So I remember reading about it in my video game magazines, but I never got to play because I didn't own a Saturn.
Oh my god. I mean, Mortal Kombat's just so cool. Like, I mean, we could take 5 minutes and just chat about the actual blood and guts of it all. The animations now, which I think they're called like bone breakers or something like that, where you can see the skull break.
X-ray. Yeah.
Dylan, just give me any of the videos we were watching.
It's just like they're just so visceral now because. Even when they started, the CGI was already realistic enough to, realistic model it, but now they've perfected it.
Yeah, that's
got a couple
fine.
games to
just
get it.
Scroll through like halfway.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe a little more. Just looking for a fight. There's a fight sequence. All right, cool.
Because I think at first they were like fatalities or finishing moves, and now they're just
certain
special moves. Yeah,
yeah, and I'm sure we'll see one in a minute. But it the animation that they put in this came in when they rebranded it. They essentially restarted it, where you could just smash someone's face into a million pieces on your knee, and it keeps going. Or you could take an axe and just brutalize them at the same time.
Like the only thing they've stopped short of doing, because there was a game that came out in the 90s that people lambasted for doing this, is like mutilation of the characters. Like you'll break somebody's arm, but they can still use their arm to fight. Their arm's not falling off, or you're not seeing like them fighting with a limp arm.
That's true. You can skip ahead until you get to a fight scene.
It wasn't called Time Splitters because that was the FPS. It was something like that. That was Time something, and it was a 2D sprite game where you would rip people's arms off, and then they would fight with like one arm, and you couldn't use the other punch button because your arm got ripped off.
Was that one of the MK clones?
Yeah. It was like a 2D like.
Yeah, it's just they've taken the moveset so far.
Not follow up, but they were capitalizing on the popularity of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there were a bunch of them that were like that, and they were all like terrible. But I like in the actual gameplay itself, to me it was uppercuts, special moves, and now these new brutal moves. I think they're called, and of course fatalities. Like that's the meat and potatoes of the game. But they've taken it to a level where it's like legitimate ninjutsu type thing. To use a word from Naruto, I guess. But it's impressive. Final thoughts on Mortal Kombat?
I have to revisit the series because I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game in a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the itch to again. I really want to jump into Mortal Kombat 1 when that comes out. I feel like they did a really good job. I've always liked the name Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
It got people make fun of it online because They're just like, oh yeah, the Xbox One, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, but it's a reboot, it's a restart, it's a new beginning.
Yeah.
And it's Mortal Kombat, but they already rebooted Mortal Kombat.
And there also hasn't been a Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
So it's kind of clever.
It's very clever from a marketing standpoint, and it makes sense lore-wise.
And if, Dylan, if you go back to the main website there, just scroll up to the logo. Cool. So if you notice, the 1 can be inverted too. And I think that's kind of what it is.
It like a slash too,
like you could go up or down on it. So I think there's something there.
Like on the timeline.
Yeah, I also think like the fact that it's split is that maybe the old timeline will meet the new timeline, and like Shao Kahn maybe will come over. So I'm hoping what'll happen is the next Mortal Kombat, all of the new characters and old characters, they'll all just be skins, right? Because they're never going to stop this, but I have no idea what they could possibly do next.
I don't know. Like they could try to make it like a platform, like they tried with Killer Instinct, where you just keep adding characters and adding characters.
Yeah.
To Mortal Kombat 1 as DLC, as opposed to, making a whole new game.
That's true.
I would hope they don't do that though, because I like the lore.
Me too.
I like that they are continuing the lore and being holding it in high regard.
Yeah, I love that they're still trying to make this quirky stuff work. They got to get the Toasty guy in the next game. Then I'll be happy when the Toasty guy is playable
as a pop-up reaction, or
as a cameo character.
A cameo character would be perfect.
There's no way they haven't already done this.
He doesn't even do any punches or kicks. He just pops out, says Toasty, and like the words
and you light on fire, or something like that.
That'd be great.
I think this discussion is so funny and also so illuminating in that there's so much more to this than blood and guts. There's so much more. The stories are fantastic now. I can't recommend them enough.
Even early on, there was so much story that they made a syndicated hour-long TV show
about
Mortal Kombat. No, it was
the
show.
one that was on like Spike TV.
Yeah, it was. I watched it when it first came out on like just plain old like pre-UPN.
Oh, dude,
Channel 57 here in Philly just played syndicated shows, so I'd watch it all. It came on after Xena and Hercules. It was in the same block. It was starring.
This wasn't the Michael Jai White one, was it? He was in an internet series.
He was in an internet one. It was pre that. The only actor I remember from that show is she was a Terminator in Terminator 3. I don't remember the actress's name. It's like Christina.
I know who you're talking about.
Something. Yeah, she was the main character. She was just like this like peasant girl. She was a peasant girl who lived in Outworld, and she was living her normal peasant life like everybody else was doing. And then like the Mortal Kombat tournament spilled over into her neighborhood and like messed everything up.
Why not just make it about Liu Kang?
Well, it's like like one thing I did appreciate was it was a ground level view. So it was kind of like, oh, what are the people doing in Outworld while Shao Kahn's invading Earth? And they're just like, oh, I'm trying to go to the market, and now these like ninjas are popping up on me. Oh, Johnny Cage popped up.
That'd be a good way to do a comedy.
Well, it was very much comedy.
Oh, was it?
There was she was a comic relief character. Another character was comic relief, and it was mostly like they were running from all the fights, and then they had like their friend that was like another monk I think it was another monk in Liu Kang's monastery that was doing the fighting for them. Yeah. So he was like, and he was basically Liu Kang. He just had a different name, but he was just like, yeah, I'll fight, and then we'll get. But they were like they were like a rogue and a sorcerer, and then he was the fighter. So they were like a D&D party, but in the world of Mortal Kombat, it was real goofy and dumb, just like the Xena and Hercules shows.
But again,
it was the same Raimi. I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi produced it, because he produced other shows.
Oh, and Ash was in a Mortal Kombat, wasn't he? Wasn't Ash from Evil Dead a Mortal Kombat guest character?
Should have been.
I think he was. He was rumored to be.
I know he had one of those asymmetric.
Can you Google that real quick? Was Ash in Mortal Kombat?
He had his own asymmetric game where you play as people trying to survive, including Ash against Deadites. But I don't remember if he was in Mortal Kombat. I see a model. I can see my mind's eye. Yeah, okay, Mortal Kombat 11.
No, he was replaced.
Oh, they were going
by the Joker.
And then they didn't.
They almost did. Well, that sounds like some sort of contract negotiation. Come on, get that done, Bruce Campbell. Get that done. Looks like Ash will never appear as a guest. That sucks. Anyway, Mortal Kombat, play it. But if you're making a movie, just stick with the characters who are in it. No Coles. Yeah. I don't want no Cole.
I perfectly agree with you. Movies should be the characters.
Yes.
If you make a TV show or animated thing, and you want to include some other world building, I'm fine with that though too. But yeah, main movie should be the characters.
Yeah.
You're not watching.
Don't do it.
You're not watching a Mortal Kombat movie to find out about Sub-Zero, Scorpion's great grandson.
Yeah. Why? Who shouldn't exist because very famously, I guess in the future we'll put this on the other side of the little bridge. Very famously, Scorpion's whole family was murdered by Sub-Zero. He is not supposed to have.
Well, I think that's what they're doing. They show at the beginning of the movie. They're all murdered except for a hidden floorboard baby. It was very, I'm still so mad.
No hidden floorboard baby.
I'm still mad about this stupid, oh God.
We're mad about it forever, but thank you very much for watching this episode of Tubby Talk. I'm definitely going to check out Mortal Kombat 1. I think you should as well, and we'll chat about it.
Maybe we can do like a Let's Play or something.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll do a Mortal Kombat Let's Play. We'll do a Street Fighter 6 Let's Play, but I also want you to watch the Mortal Kombat animated movies and let me know what you think.
I definitely will.
So let me know the next time you watch them, and we'll put it on the episode.
Cool.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time on Tubby Talk.
Take it easy, and don't forget to stop by Tubby Robot for all your ice cream and classic video game needs. No Mortal Kombat, though, because some parents get squeaky about it.
But we don't get squeaky about it here.
We also don't care that much.
Yeah.
So we might do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they might. Dude, do a Mortal Kombat like toasted almond, some sort of ice cream. Come on, the toasty guy ice cream. Yes. Here at YUNKJunk, we come up with great ideas. Don't you like our new sign? Sorry it fell over. I will glue it to the table.
Cinnamon, some hot tamale candies.
Absolutely.
On top.
Yeah, and every time you order it, the whole staff's got to go, Toasty.
We have a toaster oven. We could toast up some toasty graham crackers.
The jokes write themselves. If you are also looking for a podcast, please hit us up. We're YUNKJunk. This is YUNKJunk HQ, and we're looking to keep doing this. Thank you so much.
Take it easy, everybody.
YUNKJunk!